One of the DLCs that Worms Loaded has is Puzzle Pack, which is a series of 20 levels, and I'll be going through all of them level by level. So for each of the levels, time's gonna start when I hit enter, going to the loading screen. Okay, so here's level 1. Level 1 is going to showcase the most important mechanic, in my opinion, of the entire Worms series, being grave damage, or gravestones, specifically. I need to make sure I actually hit the start timer. There you go. So we have a wall here. Open wall here. Within the shock terrain, all you really need to do is hit the thin wall with the bazooka and with some pattern. Puzzle grave damage mystery. That's pretty much the entire level. So time is gonna end on the when you get to congratulations screen. There you go. Obviously, everything will need to be retimed, but that's the entire level. Level 2 makes use of a super sheep in the first turn, because animals can collect crates in this series. However, what isn't being told to you is that there's a small fragment of the terrain where the super sheep can hit the enemy for 10 or 11 damage, which is crazy. And hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that here. Let's see if I can grind this. So tapping F5 twice, and there you go. Enigma, 10 damage. Now let me show the backup strategy. There you go. Okay, now here is the backup strategy for number 2. So above Enigma, there's a utility crate which contains a lightning strike, which is, I think, a new weapon to the third generation. Beyond super sheep collecting the crate, it's useless. So now activating the lightning strike on yourself is going to give you 30 health. 30 additional health, I should say. So now we have 90 total health. What we can do with that is teleport ourselves to Enigma. And all that's really remaining is... all that remains is... burn dynamite to Enigma somewhere, doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's fatal amount of damage for Enigma. And even if Enigma will grab damage me, I will still survive. That's the entire mission. There you go. You can see the huge time difference that cheese provides. Some puzzle pack levels have Steam achievements associated with them. For example, in number 3, economical, you have to complete puzzle 3, but have at least one item left in your inventory that isn't skip, go, and surrender. In level 3, in this case, this will be the parachute. Primarily because of 2 reasons, and I'm gonna enter the level before doing run. Both the parachute and the drill can get you down here without fall damage. But what's the most important is that with a mid-air drill attack, you can knock Conundrum to Poser into one pile. That's the entire idea of this level. So now we can start the clock for level 3. So double tapping F7 to select drill here. And another F7 tap for baseball bat. And now a lot of patterns can happen here. Sometimes, as is presented in World Record, the 3 enemy worms can grave damage each other, but that's rare in full game runs. So you usually don't really expect that to happen. Thankfully I have an airstrike for this though. That's the entire level. There you go. Number 4 is, I would say, the toughest puzzle. Not because there's a glitch involved, but because there's a very specific grenade shot to be done here. So here a brain teaser of 20 health. What we only have is one grenade, one bat, and one electromagnet. Electromagnets is a new thing in the third generation in Worms. In that blue electromagnets can repel items. Now, here's the tough part in all of this. In full game runs, I usually like to play in 720p. Why is that the case? When preparing for the grenade shot, I need to make sure that it is the exact angle. And for that, I use slight texture changes, animation changes in the worm itself. So here I'm gonna try this in 1080p, but I have low expectations of this happening. But yeah. Honestly, I'm not confident, but I'm gonna try this. Okay, I got it. But yeah, if you're not careful what you're doing, it might end poorly. And fun fact in this level, the enemy here is the French sound bank, whereas in every other level, a Despian is used. So let's try this again, but this time with the clock running. So 3. Well, why am I doing a countdown? Let's just do this. I believe you can change magnet sides with Z, I think. Haven't really toyed around with that. Here we go, here comes the bat. Now, falling down here to make sure I keep the grenade shot consistently all the time. And now let's see if this is happening. Obviously, the enemy has nothing. That will skip turns. Let's see if I can get this again. What's also pretty nasty about this shot is that it's not full power. I use the first mine, looking from the right, as a cue for my power meter. So between this mine and this barrel, like somewhere over here, is where I need to let go of space for the grenade to be thrown. But yeah, number 4 is a very tough mission, even casually. Number 5 and number 6 both have the same achievement of not taking damage, but number 5 has a pretty nasty glitch that makes this puzzle ever so slightly interesting. So because of that glitch, there are 2 ways to solve this puzzle, and I'm gonna start the clock here. So Perplex at 30 health here. The way the levels is gonna change is as soon as the enemy will. Well, I said the enemy. The route changes as soon as I throw this Buffalo of Lies. So this Buffalo of Lies usually will collect this crate, which has an airstrike, blow up also 2 walls in the process. And also collect this ferret's crate. Now, here comes 1 explosion, 2 explosions, and right as I'm about to make the 3rd hole, I'm resetting, and as you can see, you have a 3rd explosion. So doing the same move of the sheep here. But now this is where the route differs, because right as the enemy skips again because they have nothing, and throwing the Buffalo of Lies again, all that really remains is the Buffalo just flopping Perplex, because this hole is enough for the Buffalo of Lies to make the last explosion, as I'm about to demonstrate here. And there you go. That's the entire mission. And now here's the way that you're supposed to clear it. Okay, so here's number 5 again. So without doing the glitch, without doing the glitch, the 2 crates that you get, which is airstrike and ferrets, can be used to collect this crate below us, which contains a super bunker buster. That weapon is enough to plop Perplex, because it's a point and click weapon. So here comes the Buffalo of Lies again. By the way, I cannot explode the Buffalo. Detonation, this is not a sheep. So there's that. So there you go. Buffalo Blast doing all the explosions and Corplex skipping. Now we're gonna be using the airstrike here to blow up the spin wall. It should be well enough for that to happen. Indeed it is. And now, even though I'm an artillery, I can still do this. Because ferrets can walk on all sides of walls. Here come the ferrets. Only one is needed, really. But here we have the Super Bunker Buster. Of course, that's a miss. All that remains now is get the Bunker Buster, shut up Perplex. That's the entire mission. There you go. I don't know how big of a time difference this is. Editor, you might want to help out with that one. But yeah, it is quite a nasty glitch there. Next up is number 6. This one is pretty interesting because relative to the entirety of the puzzle pack, the enemy this time has weapons. Most of the time, as I've seen, the enemy has shotguns. So I'm going to skip the turn. The enemy also has petrol bombs. What's worth mentioning about the petrol bomb is that it's not influenced by wind. Let's see if I can get the enemy to the shotgun now. No, okay. Still petrol bombs, but I do remember most of the time the enemy using the shotgun most of the time on me. But hey, okay, yeah, petrol bombs, sure. So here's how you do that with the achievement. Here we go. So you may notice on the preview I've blown up the mine here. Well, we're gonna be using that as cover. So now, what's also worth mentioning is that some weapons can be fired midair, fire punch being one of them, and I'm going to use that to get this jetpack. So hunting on the right side of the explosion hole here. Dilemma has no point blank shot to me, so they will skip turns. So with that jetpack, the crate above Dilemma has a blowtorch. Gonna use as an offensive weapon, and that's the entire mission. There you go. Number 7 is kind of a tough mission casually because our objective is to deflect an airstrike using a magnet dead center. The hell does that mean? Well, first off, using the parachutes here, we're going to be getting 2 crates. So here we have an airstrike crate. Using a teleport here, get to the other crate, which contains electromagnet. So yeah, we're going to be deflecting an airstrike using a magnet. So the dead center part refers to this question mark made out of smoke. Now, the way I usually line the magnet is something way more elaborate, but for simplicity, the idea here, and I'm gonna use the pause here to get myself a cursor. You want to line up this bit of corner where the 2 blobs of light terrain detail connect. So this bit here, line up with the tail of your worm vertically. As you have that, you want to place your magnet on that position, and without moving, you want to hit the airstrike there. The great thing about airstrikes in Roulette is that you don't have to use mouse movement, just use that. And there you go. That's the entire mission. One of the plops, one of them graves. It's tough because even the slight error on the placement of the magnet and the position where you use the airstrike can be the difference between the mission cleared or not. So here we go. I'm going to show this mission in action. Again, jumping down here. Falling off from parachute is a slight time save, but it's margin of error. Unfortunately, the teleports when reloaded are very long, unlike Armageddon. Here comes the second teleport. For some reason, you can still move in the upper retreat time. Here comes the electromagnet. And the airstrike. So there you go, there's dazed hit. And here, no, confused hit, and there you go. The plop.
You do me a grave disservice, sir. Alas, alack.
And yeah. But yeah, this mission is not really for the faint of heart. Number 8 will be the first occurrence of the Lord's favorite weapon, the Holy Hand Grenade. The alignment of it is not that easy, but what I usually like to do is, well, in that crate you have a Holy Hand Grenade, but what you also have in the utility crate, which I usually do not collect, is a jetpack. Now, one way you could solve this is use a jetpack, get to them, but you have too few mods of fuel, whatever the grammatically correct way of saying this is. So what I like to do is zoom out all the way, grab the crate, and as the main part of the body lines up with this bit of the terrain here, up like this, and I aim the holy nade all the way up, and then I line up the crosshair so that the crosshair, or one bit of the crosshair, like one angle of it, lines up with the right edge of the barrel. Once I have that, full power throw of the holy nade, I walk left to the barrel, and all that remains is the two enemies getting tackled into what I can only describe as the pit of doom. And that's the entire level. Let's get out of here and let's get this mission going, as I still have the clock from the previous mission. So let's do this. The alignment doesn't have to be this specific. As long as the crate and the barrel explodes, you're fine. Wow, okay, never mind. Well, I lied. Well, you know what? I'm keeping that in. Let's try this again. Here we go. Yeah, so usually the hollow nade needs to land in that small spot here. And there you go. There's the tackle. And yeah, the rest of the time is just dead time for the mines to explode. And the two enemy worms to die on land. And for some reason, even though you see have 400 health, that's actually a lie, because you have infinite amount of health. You just straight up don't take any damage, which is interesting, because I feel like you would survive that. But okay, then even then, just give myself like 9,999 health and that would be still fine. But there you go, that's number 8. Number 9, as far as I know, there are 2 ways to clear this level, and there's a safe way and a kind of risky way. The safe way involves you parachuting across the sky. First off, we have one rope here, which will get me to this bit of terrain here. So getting on top of it, I'm going to deploy parachute at the apex of this backflip. And I'm holding up and right. Up makes sure that you glide across further distances. And right makes sure that you actually glide to the right because there's no wind. So eventually you will get to the enemy with this way. You can also use down to get further down faster. All that remains is just by punching the enemy, and that's the entire level. But there's another faster way to do this if you know how to use the ninja rope. You can bounce yourself off of this stack of cards, also having the parachute deployed to make sure you actually land where you want to. That's the entire level. So yeah, two ways to clear this. Now here comes me with a clock on both routes. Usually in this dead time, for a speedrun marathon, I usually like to give time for readers here. Or if it's a marathon submission, I say some history about this game. Because, well, it's boring to watch. And we should be fine here. There you go. That's the first way to clear this. And here comes the other way to do this. There you go. That's the entire level. You can see huge time difference here. Number 10 is another interesting mission that involves grave damage. Grave damage is a slang term for dealing damage with worms dying on land. And the reason why that's known as grave is because enemies dying on land leave gravestones behind. So here's number 10. Worm 1, which is Charles in my case, has 10 health. And Worm 2, which is Phantom, has 20 health. So the important part of this entire mission is that Worm 1 can die of fall damage, causing grave damage to the enemy. So Mystify here, the enemy, has 50 health. However, before he causes any grave damage, I have a baseball bat. What's worth mentioning about the baseball bat is, besides being able to throw the enemies far off land, is that it can deal 30 damage. So Mystify here with 20 health remaining. And what's worth mentioning about grave damage as well is that it can deal 25 damage. So that should be plenty enough, with margin of error as well, for Charles to fall down straight onto Mystify. That's a fair amount of fall damage. And that should be Mystify grave damaged. Move 25 health. That pretty much clears the mission. So here comes me with a clock on this mission.
Sir, you are a coward.
Go. It's also worth mentioning in Reloaded you can hold Enter to jump repetitively, which is not something you would do in Armageddon. Retreat time here doesn't really matter, as long as Phantom doesn't get hit as well, because you need to also survive for the missions to count as completed.
Curses.
And here comes Charles.
Ow. Alas, alack.
There you go. That's mission 10. Mission 11 is a bit interesting because, well, there has been a cheese found for this level. Therefore, there are two ways to clear this. There's also an achievement involving not taking damage. So the cheese involves a perfectly lined up homing missile. I make use of low resolution here to aid on a visual indicator. So we have a homing missile. However, the homing properties of this weapon are not utilized. But basically, this cheese involves throwing stumps to the left side of the map, plopping them. The reason why low resolution is so handy, so I can see the ever so slight sprite changes in the terrain in the map here. Oh yeah, this lineup's kind of tough. But yeah, you're gonna be grinding this for a while. But yeah, if you don't get this within like 3 tries or something like that, I could do a backup strategy, which involves using a bunker buster to unlock this row of mines. And now we can throw stump directly onto this pit of mines. What did I just say about that cheese? But yeah, there you go. That's how you get that cheese. It's a very specific alignment. It's one specific angle that you could do this with. I guess I should mention about the motion of me resetting levels. To reset a level, you hit escape. You want to go to restart game, which is one tap of down arrow. Hitting enter, there will be a progress warning. And then you hit another down arrow, which gets CS, and you hit enter. So for this to happen quickly, you do escape, down, enter, down, enter, and that's how you reset the level. Eventually this will become muscle memory for you. One leftover from having controller support to this game is that you can tap A to go to the inventory, which sometimes can come in handy as you can select weapons such as bunker buster without F keys, because some weapons that have F keys assigned to them. I digress. Homing missile. There we go. That's the backup strat. Stump's getting just hit by a lot of mines at once, and that should be fatal amount of damage. There you go. So here is me trying the backup strat. But that was a bit too high, but that's fine. We got the mines trigger. There you go. That is number 11. But yeah, there's one specific angle for this. If you get it, If you get it, then you can pretty much finish the damage like 15 seconds or something crazy like that if you get it on first try. But for now, this strat is way safer. Number 12 showcases how Fire Punch can be such a fascinating weapon, primarily because it can be fired from midair. So here's Fire Punch, and what we can do is at the backflip apex of it, we can still attack from a much higher point. And we're going to be using that mechanic for this level. As you may have noticed, I still didn't have enough altitude to get Chuck Riddle. So what I'm going to do is get the enemy as a platform to stand on. And now at the backflip apex of it, I now can get Chuck Riddle straight to the drink. And because of the way I landed, I usually just mash here because I already have Fire Punch selected. And that makes the second worm land on water. That's the entire level. This mechanic of this Fire Punch in Armageddon is also used somewhat extensively to get a worm from a weird position to a point of interest. But now here comes me with a clock on this level. Ah.
I bid you be gone. First blood. So you can. Fatality. Bummer.
Again, I'm smashing here. And there you go.
Fatality. Flawless victory.
There you go, that's that. Number 13 is a mission that wants to showcase the earthquake weapon. However, we have found a way to clear this level without the use of it. So here's the earthquake crate in the bottom left corner of the map. Now, what I can do is backflip to the left. I'm going to, from that position, the bunker buster. During retreat time, stand onto this like small like hole because that lines up with this blowtorch coming up here. Now that I am next to Snooker, you may notice that this bunker buster made a hole to the water. So all that remains, shotgun the enemy worm. Sometimes he may just slide. There you go. That's the level. That's one way to clear it. The other way to clear it involves revealing the mines here, which is why you have a laser sight added to your shotgun. So here's the first hole here, and I think this is gonna make a big enough hole. Okay, it did. So that's the 2 mines on the left side. We also have a bunker buster, which will reveal more mines. And now to make sure that these mines will get to the enemy, there are 2 ways you can do this. You can have a blowtorch going this way and a blowtorch going this way. However, what we have also found is a double stack of torches. So I'm going to use again the small crevice in the terrain as a visual aid. That's the first blowtorch here. That's first blowtorch, second blowtorch here, and we have a double wide torch hole. So all that remains now is teleporting our way to this crate and activating it. Or activate the earthquake, I should say. And hopefully with enough RNG, that would be enough damage for that to happen. Hopefully that is. That should be fatal amount. Yeah, there's one mine still remained, but yeah, there you go. That's how you solve that. Alright, now here comes me with a clock on these 2 routes.
By my truth, you
So again, bunker
fail.
buster as the first move. But during retreat, I move to the right. Blowtorching our way to the enemy, and now hopefully the enemy won't slide.
Ooh, I bid you be
Oh,
gone.
come on.
Surprise. Fatality.
I mean, hey, mistakes like these are an opportunity to snipe my time. So if you're interested in speedrunning any game from the Worms series, you can go to speedrun.com/worms. I'm a shill. Alright, now the backup way for number 13. I forgot to start the clock. Here we go.
Sweet lady lost. Surprise.
We find, yeah. I hope.
Whoops. Run away.
So we have a double fake.
Watch this.
Double fake torch. And tunnel here.
Whoops.
Teleport our way.
Whoops. Watch this. No. Ooh. Ow. No. Oh. Oops. Oh.
Sometimes the enemy can plop as well.
Flawless victory.
There you go. You can see how big of a time difference the two strategies were. Oh god, 14. Mission 14. We meet again. Let me tell ya, mission 14 casually is a nightmare, but somehow I managed to figure it out. If you have ever figured out the concept of rocket jumping in Quake or Team Fortress 2, or the boom race scheme in Worms Armageddon, you will find this somewhat familiar. So, we have a barrel. I'm gonna hold jump here to make sure I get all these jumps consistently. And once I land here, a homing missile aiming downwards. It doesn't matter what power it is, because they'll just explode. Both the missile and the barrel will explode on impact. And I'm on the other side. Now, here comes the first stumper. We have a crate containing another homing missile. However, this utility crate contains a parachute. It is useless because the wind is a countermeasure for us. So instead, I'm going to jump over that crate. And the way I figured it out is that the worm body lines up with this orange border. Once that's done, I can just long jump and I'm here. And then the other visual cue is me standing on top of this bluish, like, concave. I think that's the word, concave pillar here. So standing on top of here, I get to throw another homing missile. And together with the utility crate blowing up, I usually land on top of this terrain here. But sometimes you can land directly where you want to. So this is the pit here, which contains 2 blow torches and a holy hand grenade. You will need this to attack Enigma here, the enemy. So the first blowtorch here will be used to get out of here. We have another homing missile here. And what I found most consistent is to use this barrel as a means to get up again. So falling down here, you may notice the enemy falling down here. Well, it's just me falling down the ledge here. You can walk right, get on top of the barrel here. What we're looking for is this. Like, the moment you start falling down from a barrel, you let go of moving, and that's your cue for shooting. So I found this to be the most consistent rather than parachuting your way from left to right, even though you would have wind right now. Now it made me thinking, I have 26 health remaining. Is that bad? Well, might be. However, what you still can do is jump your way to this piece of terrain. This will get you some fall damage, but that should be enough for you to still survive. And now all that remains is for you to blowtorch your way to Enigma. You underneath this along.
Fine. Mercy. Oh.
And that's the entire mission.
Flawless victory.
So here comes me with a clock on this mission, making sure, yes, this is number 14. Here we go. So again, holding enter. Firing downwards here.
Fast alert.
Again, do not collect this crate. And there you go. As you can see, sometimes you may land on this terrain. Doesn't really matter. In this case, you usually just want to fall down. Just do not jump here. Blowtorching our way out of here. Great collecting homing missile.
Whoops.
Pulling down the barrel here. Do another missile here. Yeah, this is yet another mission where we get homing missiles, yet we do not use the homing properties of it. Okay, and all that remains now is blowtorching our way.
Whoops. Grenade.
There you go.
Oh! Fatality! Flawless victory!
There you go, just a little bit above 2 minutes. Mission number 15 is one of the strangest ones out of here. Primarily because there are 2 known ways to clear this, and both of them complete up on the same amount of time. So first off, the first way, you can get on top of the roof of this map. However, as you can see, well, I got it. But as you can see, depending on your roping skills, and Reloaded specifically, that can be tough. So if you manage to get this, you can jump your way to the enemy. And actually have a plethora of weapons to choose from in this level, surprisingly. But now parachuting your way, and because there's water on both sides, well, I ran out of time. Because there's water on both sides, you can use baseball bat to hit the enemy from either side,
What's this? Oh!
and that'll be the entire mission.
Flawless victory!
But yeah, this one is kind of tough, and this specific maneuver isn't really seen in the other parts of single player Worms Reloaded stuff, so yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. As for the usual way you would clear this, we have a parachute getting our way to the biggest part of this island here. So because we have 1 parachute here, our only purpose of it is just get over there and then just do fall damage, unless there's a way to preserve the parachute that I'm not aware of. Either way, over here we can throw either dynamite or mine here. Doesn't really matter as far as I know, but in this case we just want to blow up this wall, as our next objective is to get the enemy, and the camera is just being problematic here. Drop our way to the enemy and just bat them. That's it. So here comes me with a clock on the way of clearing this mission.
Come on then! Hurry! Ow! First blood, coward! Boring! Surprise! Take cover! Whoops! Coward! Good! Surprise! Come on then! Flawless victory!
There you go. About a minute. Alright, here comes puzzle 16, which is similarly to number 4, another mission where precision is required to solve this. And personally, I was struggling with this one quite a bit. Now, the way to solve this, what I like to do is do 1, 2 long jumps, and on that position for an electromagnet. The mines will be flailing around, as you can see on this back of this big old whale here. With that electromagnet, we already have a prod selected, so all I need to do is just mash space between turns. And now the enemy is gonna get hit with 3 mines, and I'm also gonna get hit once. Now, because I have 50 health and the mine dealt 37 damage to me, I will survive this. Now, you may be thinking, is that a failure? Well, you would think. However, what saves us is we have 2 torches and a ninja rope remaining. So we're going to be using that. So roping our way. Don't mind the masher here. But now, what's worth mentioning about 2 blow torches is that 1 blow torch can deal up to 30 damage. With 13 health remaining, you need to also be careful of not dying out of the enemy grave damaging you. What I usually like to do is using the torch for not only damaging the enemy, but also making a piercing hole to the other side of the map. And now, on the next blow torch, I'm going to knock Mind Masher somewhere around the magnet, and that makes sure that you won't die out of grave damage. And that's the entire mission. And there you go. So here comes me with a clock on this mission.
Entertainers, you slow-witted oaf.
Yeah, electromagnet smashed for prod.
Ow! Stupid.
The enemy has 35 health remaining.
First blood.
I don't know if rope knocking is a thing in this game. Well, I digress. Oh yeah, we can hold, we can hold, we can hold walk for because retreat time is just weird at this game. I digress.
Very well, good sirs. Flawless victory.
There you go, just below minute 30. Level 17, very strange mission. So strange, in fact, that you don't have your profile name when you pause. As you start this level, as you can see, the leaderboard is full. That's because we have two ally teams with us, Bravo and Alpha. And in Alpha, we have Blacker Worm. The only thing they have is a jetpack for like 30 fuel or something like that. Either way, you can skip with them. And as you can see, Bravo never gets any turns. But what's worth mentioning is that Blocker will activate some mines. With Charles here, roping our way to get this holy hand grenade crate. You also have a girder. However, there's a nasty glitch in Reloaded. It doesn't have to be you specifically that survives for the mission to count. As long as you have control of them, it works. So I'm going to throw this holy hand grenade and plop myself. So that will get a chain reaction going. And as you can see, sometimes RNG may disappoint, and this will happen. And all that remains is for Blocker to trigger these mines. As you can see, 25 fuel clearly wasn't enough. So unfortunately, you're gonna need to reset. As you can see, there's the blank profile page. But yeah, 25 fuel is not a lot in Reloaded. But yeah, the most interesting thing about Reloaded is that, unlike Armageddon, the alliances do not share weapons, which is something you would see in Armageddon. And there you go. That's what should happen. There's the enemy getting hit with at least one mine, and that should be a clear. As you can see, this level basically an RNG check. And as you can see, your eyes do not deceive you, because I can still move with Blocker. That counts as a victory. Your team does not have to survive for the list level to be cleared. So here comes now me with a clock on my wrist. Let go.
Good sir, you are a card.
Yeah, my luck is terrible today. There you go. Yeah, sometimes the enemy can plop, but doesn't really matter what happens here. But yeah, this level is basically an RNG check.
Am I to believe this?
Yeah, sub 1 minute, but yeah, just this level can go all over the place. So level 18 showcases multiple ways of how you can make tunnels in this game. Starting off is a blowtorch. Now this one has somewhat specific. You want to line up the 1/4 of the crosshair that it lines up with this bit of the border here. And on that, you just dig without any movement, and that gets you across. That's one blowtorch. The other way you can get across through thin walls is a shotgun. The shotgun is a beautiful weapon in Worms, primarily because it has 2 shots, dealing up to 25 damage each. The other way to dig tunnels is by blowing up mines. So first here, using a torch to trigger this mine. As it triggers, I let go and retreat. And that mine explosion combined with the barrel makes a piercing hole to the other side. The other way is with a deflected magnet. Some airstrikes, Bunker Buster, one of them, can be deflected with a magnet. We've seen that in one of the previous levels as well. As there's the Bunker Buster being deflected, that makes a tunnel. And the last one, as we're going to walk to there, you also notice that electromagnets also have durability. So you want to make sure you use that Bunker Buster before the magnet runs out of charge. And now all that remains is blow torch your way to the enemy while the audience singing along. There you go. And that's the entire mission. So here comes me with a clock on this, hopefully not failing this time. Alright, let's try this again. First off, do not play with fire. You can hit yourself if you stand on the horse foot while trying to make a hole of a shotgun. Those tries again.
And surprise! Sweet lady luck, yes, sir.
Sliding. Yep.
And and
And here comes a bunker buster. As far as I know, it doesn't have to be precise. But yeah, walking here during retreat time to get to the other side faster. A little bit of hesitating here.
whoops! Grenade! Gadzooks! Oof. Very well, good sirs.
And there you go. Just below 2 minutes. Well, you know the saying, best leave the best for last. Number 19 is pretty much that. Number 19 is very tough level. I would say the toughest mission out of the entire puzzle pack. Primarily because of solution. And there are two ways to solve this. All of them revolve knocking mystery to this pit of mines. To make a piercing hole to the mines here, there are two ways to do this. You either reveal the entire row of mines. So over here, first off, you're gonna drill to negate fall damage here. Then using a blowtorch to chew away a fragment of the terrain here. And now I'm using an airstrike to dig even more terrain. So now I have a bigger hole to the entire fragment of this. And now all that remains is teleport back to mystery. And now standing next to mystery here, I would like to turn around, thank you. We want to place a girder so that when mystery bounces off of it, they land on the pit of mines here. So I'm gonna try this, and we have a baseball bat here. So let's see if I can get this. There you go.
Oof.
I'm not sure if that's fatal amount, but we'll see.
Amazing.
It is not fatal. 7 health remaining, but that's basically the entire... No, don't have anything else, but that's pretty much just RNG, disappointing me. But that's the casual way you would solve this. However, there is a different way, which involves a specifically lined up airstrike here. So this one, you want to have the airstrike to be going from right to left. You want to have the cursor of it, not the crosshair, the cursor of it lined up to like the edge of the roof here. Then you make like a triangle from that, like a 45, 90, 45 triangle out of that. So with that lined up on some color of the gradient here, hitting that airstrike, one of the missiles will deflect the other missile, and that should make a piercing hole to a fragment of that row of mines. So let's try this again. There you go. So a bit of a different triangle here, but that works. So with that hole here, now I want to place a girder. This one is a bit specific. You may notice that a girder tinted red means that you cannot place that girder. So we'll be using that to line up this girder. So as right on the edge of this girder here, on both going up and going left and down here. I want to, on the edge of it, place that girder here. This should be someone lined up to the roof mines, as the bat row here is kind of crucial here. But again, mystery getting deflected off of the magnet here. And that should be that. Now, again, I think I'm just unlucky today, and the enemy still survives. I still have backup weapons though, so let's try this again. Let's see if I can knock the enemy. No, I cannot. I only have drill remaining, so... Yeah, but that's basically the two ways of you solving this. Again, you want to make sure these mines land unlike what I'm doing right now, which as far as I know is just RNG. No point in me trying this again. Let's just me just try this with a clock going.
The enemy does make assault. Whoops. Hello. Come on then. Entertain us, you slow-witted. No! Ow!
There you go. So usually you would want
Oof.
the worm just staying put in that hole. There you go. That's perfect 200 damage.
Very well, good sirs.
Sometimes they can plop as well, but
Flawless victory.
damage is enough as well. There you go. Yeah, just RNG is a problem. Alright, and here comes the last level of the puzzle pack. It is the most ridiculous of them all because the casual way of doing this is deflecting these 3 mines into this pit hole here so that whatever it is. I don't remember. Anyway, I digress. You deflect these mines to this pit hole here so that eventually Conundrum just dies on them. There's a better way to do this. Instead, you can just get to the pit here below Conundrum. And you may be thinking, why do I have no hat all this time? Well, here comes the answer. I'm using eyebrows as a visual cue. Right as I'm straight upwards here, just tapping left, and eventually my eyebrows blending with the border of the terrain. That's my cue to shoot. The Conundrum
Ow!
lands on my face with a lot of fall damage, backflip on top of them, and facing this wall, turning right without moving, and all you need to do is baseball bat going all the way up,
Oof! Oof!
and that's the entire level. So that mine may trigger, but yeah, huge cheese to this level, and I do not miss the casual way of clearing it because I even forgot about it. So here comes me with the cheese strat for number 20. Yeah, so yeah, just number 20 here. Dropping to the other side and to the underside here, and
Sweet lady luck. Yes, sir. Oof. Brilliant. First blood. What's this? Oof. Oof. Flawless victory.
And there you go. And that's the entirety of Puzzle Pack. I'd like to give shout outs to the Worm Speedrunning Discord server. If you're interested in speedrunning any games from the Worm series, you can join that server. It will be in the description. Or you can find it on speedrun.com/worms. Also shout out to Ravenous, keep finding some of the cheese strats. And anyone else that has shown these strategies before I have ever speedrun this Puzzle Pack. And also shout out to PopDNet for being the super moderator of the Worms Reloaded leaderboard. That's it.